Bottling up your emotions doesn't make them go away. In fact, it makes them louder. If you've watched any of my other videos, then you know I will have talked about ancestral memory being a very big factor into why women in particular have learnt to say almost anything other than how they actually feel. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to pop a card up to it and you can check it out after this one. Bottling our emotions up, or suppression, which is the technical name for it, leads to a degree of anxiety, perhaps that you should have done something different. A degree of resentment, could be towards other people, could be towards yourself, and disconnection from your authentic voice, what you really wanted to say. It can actually, believe it or not, be more exhausting to suppress your emotions than it would have been just to say what you were perhaps thinking or feeling. But saying what you think or feel feels much more scary, doesn't it, than being silent. But whatever you do, however you suppress it, it's got to come out some way. Now that could be in a huge amount of anxiety. It could be uncontrollable crying. It could come out in you physically with sort of headaches and stomach aches, because that emotional energy has got to go somewhere. And if emotions are chemicals, it's got to find a way out of your body somehow. For me, if I am in a situation where I have to completely suppress how I feel, it comes out in explosive kind of angry rants, including one particularly famous time where I smashed the shit out of my kitchen, and a very costly mistake that I'm not going to be doing again. But most of us spend a lot of time in what we call our comfort zone, and yes, it's comfortable, but it actually stops us from learning or growing if we never experience any uncomfortability. So how do we stop cutting off our feelings and the thing that comes out of our mouth doesn't match what's going on for us internally? Well, first of all, we need to identify a safe space, whether that's with a person or a place, but it is somebody that you trust isn't going to do the thing that you fear will happen if you say how you feel. So if you're worried that people are going to laugh at you, perhaps don't try that down the pub on a Friday night. Perhaps get hold of your bestie or your other half and just practice saying how you feel just once in any given day. What happens when you do that, when you say how you really feel, the other person, even if they don't know it, we have this part of our brain that recognizes authenticity, so they will respond to you in a kind and helpful way. You then feel heard, amazing, and empowered. You might want to say to the other person that makes you feel empowered, but it isn't, because you kick-started this interaction by using your authentic voice, saying how you really feel. That empowers you. You feel more confident, and then tomorrow you might try it again. You might try it in the same situation, and that's fine. You can keep trying it in the same situation, but actually what you're doing is expanding your comfort zone. And then the next day or the next day or the next week, however long it takes you, you go to something that's slightly less comfortable and safe, and you try sharing your authentic voice there and see what happens. We need to begin to tweak our mindset just a little bit and emphasize safe emotional expression as an important and healthy part of your day. Now, I'm not saying you wake up tomorrow and every person you come across you say exactly what you're thinking and feeling, because there is a need to adjust slightly to social expectation, not completely but a little bit. So what we're aiming for is a balance between the emotional part of your brain and the cognitive part of your brain. I think a really good example is, you know, if you're like in your car and some twat cuts you up and you kind of think, oh, I'll fucking kill you. That's the emotional part of your brain, because your fight, flight, freeze or fawn has been triggered because it was potentially a life-threatening situation. So your survival instinct kicks in. But then we temper that with the cognitive part of our brain. That's a newer part of our brain. We wouldn't get out of the car and kill the person, because whether or not they deserve it is neither here nor there. But we don't want to get in trouble. We are maybe pacifists and against killing. But our survival instinct says one thing, it goes through the filter of our cognition, and we decide on a course of action, which might be just to leave well enough alone, but at least you were able to get the feeling out by, from the safety of your car, calling that person whatever names feel right for you. So if you're understanding what I'm saying and this resonates with you, please identify a safe emotional space for you and begin to practice using your authentic voice in that safe space. And when you get that lovely feeling of being heard, you're going to want to do it more. So you go to a slightly less safe space, and then each time you do it, you're expanding your comfort zone a little bit. But do it in your own time, in your own way. It's different for everybody, but you will get there. If you want more of this sort of thing, come and hang out in the Becoming Hive, my free Facebook community for quietly rebellious introverted women over 40. There's a link below. In the Becoming Hive, we talk real strategies, no fluff, no bullshit. You could also like this video, comment on this video and subscribe to this channel. Dust off your throne and polish your crown, Queen, because when you are well, the whole hive thrives. Until next time, swear softly, rebel radiantly, and buzz bravely.